conditions like those impacting their vision, hearing, upper respiratory tract, cardiac condition, gastrointestinal issues, thyroid malfunctioning, and last but not the least, a higher predisposition to autoimmune disorders. It is difficult to predict the impact and its severity on each individual, but care has to be exercised from early on to prevent these medical conditions from lowering the lifestyle quotient of our children. It has been noted by both parents and professionals working with our children that early intervention on cognitive, gross motor, and fine motor skills can result in a very high functioning, highly trainable young adults living quite independently. That's what this conference is about, and I think each of us believes that the earlier we've given them help, the higher functioning they have. In the same spirit, please note, in the same spirit, it has been observed that early intervention given to the correct quantity and quality of nutrition will go a long way in ensuring a healthy and long life for our children. The earlier you start taking precautions on nutrition, the better for your children. Their larger propensity for medical conditions can almost certainly be altered with attention to their nutritional intake. While each of our children may be blessed with their own measure of physical, mental, and emotional issues, my intent here is to minimize their troubles and maximize their potential in life. I'm going to primarily be talking about a gluten-free and casein-free diet. Please don't switch your mind off. It's not a difficult proposition. I'm going to make it really simple for all of you to understand. What is a gluten-free, casein-free diet? A daily intake of food which does not have any wheat and wheat-based products and milk-based products is called a GFCF diet. What's gluten? Gluten is the protein found in wheat, barley, and rye. This is not rye as in the rye we put mustard, this is rye as in another cereal that exists. It is contained in everything made from wheat, like bread, biscuits, cake, buns, pizzas, pastas, and more. Casein. Casein is the protein found in milk and all milk of all mammals. Please note, goat milk, cow milk, camel milk, mouse milk. Every mammal milk has casein in it. It is different from lactose, which is the sugar present in the milk. Casein is contained in milk and everything made from milk, including butter, ghee, cheese, curd, whey water, cottage cheese, paneer, and in most processed and packaged foods like breads, cakes, buns, pizzas. Let me take you through a little bit on why GFCF diet. A gluten intolerance implies the inability of the body to absorb the protein from the wheat. So you might feel that you've given the protein requirement in the roti, but that may not be absorbed by the body. Consumption of foods containing gluten could result in very, very minor symptoms like rashes, stomach aches, flatulence, the farting, constipation, or even loose stools. So watch, it swings both ways. Any disorder coming from the digestive system could be related to a gluten allergy. But this issue can manifest itself into a full-blown allergy. In this case, the immunity system of the body starts to confuse the human protein, your RNA and DNA, to be the gluten protein and attacks it. This results in damage to the body tissues like walls of the intestine, leaky gut. Someone just showed me the tongue of a son had cuts on it. The tongue is an indication of what's happening inside in your gut. The cuts on the tongue means that your gut will have the same cuts in it, which means it's a leaky gut. What leaky gut does is it allows the proteins and food particles to escape undigested into the abdominal cavity. Poisonous, it's toxic for the body to get that. Damage to the muscles, severe abdominal cramps, and diarrhea. A casein allergy implies not just the inability of the body to absorb the protein from the food, but direct, regular consumption of foods containing casein in a person allergic to it would result in an autoimmune disorder. This means damage to the walls of the small intestine, restricted growth in terms of both weight and height gains, damage to joints and arthritis, hernias, wheezing, nausea, giddiness, shortness of breath, and skin infections. These are all issues not taken off the net, but issues that I have seen happening in our children and young adults, and I have seen them being tackled with a diet change. All these. Unattended gluten and casein allergy can result in malnutrition. So a lot of my parents come up and tell me, child is not increasing in height, is not gaining weight, too lean. One side you have the overweight kids and the other side you have the really lean ones. It's all coming from the malnutrition because we are giving them substances that the human body is not able to absorb, and instead of not absorb, it's blocking the absorption of the other nutrients you are giving them. So please understand, it itself is damaging, the body is not using it, it's preventing other nutrients from being absorbed into the body. So you're not just being ignorant, you're actually being harmful for your child. Vital organ damages, osteoporosis, and certain cancers. This is not exaggerated. Parents, I have seen this, I have experienced it. Our children go through hell and back with the wrong food going into their systems. This is especially true in the case of individuals blessed with Down syndrome because they have a tendency for suppressed autoimmune systems. So the autoimmune system is not keeping pace to tackle the big garbage we are putting into the system, and on top of it, then their system is kicking in and harming their body. Individuals with Downs have been seen to thrive on a GFCF diet. This has been my personal experience, not just with my friends, but hundreds of others I have guided in the past many years. I'm then almost always asked, but my parents eat everything. I grew up eating all this. Then why should I restrict this for my child? I'm trying to include the child in the normal society, and you're telling me one more area in which I need to do, like neem leaves and cow dung in moderate quantities to clear their cultivation of insects, weeds, and pests which ruin their crops. But increasingly, chemically poisonous substances are used to protect crops against pest attacks. Soil soaked in these pesticides are harmful for many decades. Many decades. Corporations have come up with genetically modified seeds that are not attacked by insects. Please understand, anything that's harmful for the insects is harmful for you, is harmful for your children. Period. There's no debate on that. You can Google search and find out enough research that says how harmful pesticides are. We misunderstand this as a blessing, but actually it's not. Pesticides are harmful not just for insects but humans. These pesticides are chemical fertilizers enter our bodies and become the root cause of food allergies. Inside the cells, please understand what it's doing. They attach themselves to mitochondria. Bio students, you remember cell body and this little mitochondria, comma-shaped structure. The pesticide goes and attaches itself to the mitochondria. Mitochondria is the energy house of the cell, and a cumulative of these is what gives us energy to function on a regular basis. They prevent the proper functioning of this cell body and hence lead to chronic fatigue. Anyone's child sleeping for more than the number of hours a typical child of that age will, antennae should go up. Why is my child sleeping more? Why is the child tired? Why am I tired? By 5 o'clock in the evening, if I'm snapping at everyone, if I'm tired and exhausted, something is happening to the mitochondria. Could it be the pesticides that you're consuming? Once inside our bodies, again, these chemicals stay there for many years and are extremely difficult to remove from the body. My daughter and me as a family had pesticides in us, and it's taken me all of 7 years of doing nothing but removing pesticides to get rid of them. So they're called persistent pollutants because they just do not go, they just stay there. Similarly, in the case of milk, we could in the past consume liters of milk daily and feast on Indian sweets, but today the condition of cows is pathetic. They are housed in poor conditions, injected with growth hormones, given feed mixed with antibiotics and non-vegetarian substances, fish and tails, which enhance their milk production capacity. Cows are milked at least twice, if not more. The milk that we get through dairy cooperatives is no better. Toxins embedded in the cow's casein cause havoc in our bodies and are the cause of huge medical condition not just for our children with Downs, but for all of us as well. To the best of my knowledge, the ideal, probably the only way to tackle this is by complete and total abstinence from foods containing gluten and casein. Beneficial impact on health will be visible within 3 years of complete abstinence. 3 months, I beg your pardon, 3 months of complete abstinence. Any contamination of the smallest quantities will create a setback. Many friends who gave up gluten and casein, and I'm talking about friends as in parents and other neurotypical adults who gave up gluten and casein, reported increased brain functioning. I was talking about this to parents yesterday, and mentioned the feeling of a fog clearing up in their brains. It's almost like, what happened? I can hear better, see better, intellectualize better, react better. My strongest recommendation to you as parents is experiment the diet on yourself. If you feel the difference, do it to your children. Don't go by my word, go by your experience, try it. And the arguments continue, they don't stop, but my child shows no symptoms. There are mothers who will come up to me and say, but my in-laws object, Tati will give some chocolate, ek chocolate se kya farak padta hai? My personal experience, individuals with Down syndrome have benefited from a gluten-free, casein-free diet, from behavioral changes to attention span, better compliance in school, thyroid balancing, as well as all autoimmune conditions, improvements have been observed. So irrespective of any visible symptoms, my strongest recommendation alone, try it on yourself, try it on your children, and then decide. Of course, if you want to, you can go through the testing routine. Let me go back. Okay. So there's the skin patch test. I'm sure all of you know about allergy testing through that route. There are the IG tests, IgI, IgE, IgA. Iridology. I don't know how many of you know about iridology. It's the study of the irises of your eye, and a qualified doctor, it's a medically trained doctor, has to look inside. And you know, when as a child you drew the eyes, you made the iris, and you made these little lines around the pupil. So each of those lines are actually segments which represent an organ of the human body. So a person trained in it can make out which organ is damaged today, why it was damaged, and what can you do to rectify it, or which organs are tending to get damaged. So it's a very, very intensive study. So you have people who are practitioners of iridology, and there's something called muscle testing and neurofeedback testing. So that's, you have to find people who specialize in it, but it's an easy way of figuring out if your child actually has the allergy. I would recommend find practitioners who can do this for you, but in the intervening period at least start. I'll briefly go through the sources of gluten and casein. You've already been reading it. But what I would recommend is study the labels of food you buy from the shelves. Gluten can come in the form of whole grain wheat, maida, corn flour, bulgur, durum, semolina. You've seen all these names, and all of them represent gluten. Autolyzed yeast, caramel color, hydrolyzed vegetable protein or plant protein, food starch, malt, even malt vinegar, food additives, all imply gluten tucked in. I have seen packets which say gluten-free, no wheat, but when you read the label and the ingredients list, you'll find all these words. Hydrolyzed vegetable protein is nothing but gluten. So if you are going the route, go all hog, read the labels carefully. Oats are contaminated with gluten during the processing and the rolling. Hence, avoid eating oats or buy gluten-free oats. Be careful. Please know that almost all vitamins, multivitamins, have gluten, have maltodextrin in them to serve as a binding agent, as a carrier for the multivitamin. So a multivitamin of 5 micrograms is going to weigh nothing. It will be like powder flying in the air. To make it into a tablet, that's what they've added in. Corn flour, maltodextrin. If your child has a gluten allergy, every vitamin pill you're giving your child is causing more damage than benefit. By the way, are there any parents who are on TNI here? if you check with them, with Rob, the guy, the consultant, he will tell you even TNI has that. So please be very, very careful. Substitutes of gluten. This is something that everyone's been asking me since they saw my face. Millets, ragi, jwar, bajra, rice, soy, tapioca, amaranth, arrowroot, buckwheat, kutu, flaxseed, all kinds of gluten-free flours like rice flour, soy flour, potato, beans, and quinoa. There is more than one substitute to meat. Wherever you live, you can find these locally grown or processed. Sources of casein. While I've already told you that entire long list has both casein and gluten in it, read the labels and ingredients and watch for words which say sodium caseinate, potassium casein, casein hydrolate. All caseinates indicate the presence of milk. So there are milk powders which I was giving Gayatri as she was growing up, which said lactose free, dairy free, milk free, and they all had sodium caseinate in it. And she was getting her supply of casein and falling sick further and further. So you have to really know that this is the way the industry is just pushing it in. Other ingredients that indicate are everything that begins with lact. Lact is milk, lactose, lactate, lactobalamin. Be aware that anything labeled non-dairy may still have all these disguised forms. Why does the process and package industry use so much of milk? Please understand that milk is the best known and the cheapest antifungal, antibacterial agent known to mankind today. It's the cheapest. So milk powder is added in everything that the food industry is making. So a packet of chips you open will have milk solids in it, because to increase its shelf life, it's almost like a preservative. It will have that. So yes, so the advisors stop opening, eating anything which comes out of a packet or a tin. But your choice. Substitutes of milk, like I said, substitutes of gluten. Very easy. All these can be made at home. Each and every one of them can be made at home effortlessly. Try to use only organic nuts to make dairy substitutes. If you're using packaged milk, so you get soy milk for example, read the ingredient list and an additional note on chances. There's always this little note there which will say cross-contamination possibilities exist because the line may be used for dairy products also. Be sure that that means there will be contamination, casein going into that milk. These are my favorites. Gayatri grows and loves and has been growing on this. Green leafy vegetables. I was telling someone, you say cow milk important. Where did the cow get its calcium and protein from? Only through grass. I'm not saying apne bachcho ko grass khilao. I'm not saying feed them grass. But all green leafy vegetables will give them the calcium that they need. Beans and pulses, especially malted and sprouted. Malting is a process. Whoever is interested, please get in touch with me. I'll explain it to you. It's an extended process of sprouting. So you don't allow sprouting to happen. In the process, you convert all carbs and all sugars into protein. So it becomes more potent than the same weight of non-veg in a malted bean. Seeds, sunflower, pumpkin, chia, hemp, nuts, almonds, cashews, walnuts. But please only organic. Gayatri developed a nut allergy only because we used almonds, Californian almonds. They are all GMO, they are all pesticide ridden and cause allergies in children. Fresh eggs from free roaming hen, flaxseed, amaranth, multicolored fruits. I swear by anything that grows locally and in season. For parents who want to seriously avoid casein in the lives of your children, you will have to go that extra mile. Care would need to be taken to use cosmetics and soaps and shampoos and lotions that are free from casein. So things like Dove will say half of it is milk cream. It will definitely have some casein powder in it. Products like wall paints, all wall paints. Shah Rukh Khan advertises for this non-toxic wall paint. It has milk powder in it. Crayons, poster colors, all those have milk powder in it. Didn't mean to scare you, but while I'm talking about food and nutrition, I'd also take a little bit of your time, the last few slides, to consume only freshly cooked food. Any food coming out of a packet will have numerous colors and preservatives to increase its shelf life. All these colors, preservatives and sugars are linked to colon cancers and diabetes. There is ample research to show this. So the sooner you take packaged food out of your child's life, out of your life, the better for you. All these colors are linked. In addition, many of the flavoring agents like MSG, hydrolyzed vegetable protein, are known to trigger the same happy centers in the brain, ensuring production of dopamine and causing the same addictive reactions to the food as are felt by alcoholics and smokers. All of you would have noticed, you open a packet of kurkure and you say, "Rukta hi nahi hai, I can't control myself from finishing the whole packet. I meant to eat just 3 or 4 of these, but I'll end up finishing the whole packet. I can't control myself." You can't control yourself because the chemical there is going and hitting your brain, which is causing an addictive reaction to happen straight away. It's not waiting. It's not waiting for you to digest. It goes, gets absorbed, and tack, and you cannot let go of that packet. You feel happy after eating it because you're getting the same feeling that an alcoholic does or a smoker does. So, watch. For kids, yeah. For kids, you see some of our kids stimming. Don't jump to the conclusion that they have autistic traits and the stim is because of autism. The stim could be related to simple food. It could be one of the addictive responses that the child is showing. So please try and remove packaged foods from their diet. Bacteria and fungi thrive on cooked, uneaten food lying in our kitchens. It is hence best to eat freshly cooked food. Presence of raw onions, raw garlic and turmeric provides raw food and antibacterial cover, cooked food and antibacterial cover. But you've noticed now, every time you eat stale food, you've cooked the dal for lunch, you eat it for dinner, that night you'll say, "Pet bahut phul raha hai. I feel like farting too much." It's the stale food, the bacteria going into the stale food that is causing your gas problems. Happens with our children all the time. I have seen 50% of the stomach distension in Down syndrome kids coming from stale food. Parents, please stop going to physiotherapists and say, "Do crunches because the stomach is distended. Put the child on diet." No, all you need to do is ensure that the child is getting healthy food which is free of packaged processed food. Use organic cold pressed oils. I bray enough about it. Stop using plastic in your kitchens. Water stored in plastic bottles, even food grade bottles, has been tested and shown to have plastic oils which will go line your intestines like plastic and prevent the absorption of vitamins and minerals. Aluminium, stop using the aluminium kadhais and non-stick pans because they all lead to aluminium leaching into your food. Microwave ovens. Can you please not listen to your maids and throw the microwave oven out of your homes and kitchens, because there are enough studies which have shown that the microwave leads to colon cancers. There's a direct link that has been established. People have been trying to hide this because there's a lot of money involved, but please try and avoid using it. Conclude. Food we eat should be grown locally, organic and seasonal with vegetables and fruits of a varied nature. This helps the body replenish itself with all the nutrients it needs at various times. Feeding your children with the right, healthy ingredients and cooking with an ample dose of love. I really believe this to be true. The ample dose of love will go a long way in healing us and keeping our children healthy. So while cramping your lifestyles and your children's life with so many interventions, don't forget to accommodate food. Feed them a healthy, nutrient-rich diet and see them blossom into healthy, fully functioning young adults who will make you proud every moment of their lives. Thank you. Thank you, parents. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Shalini, for a wonderful presentation. And I came to know of things I didn't know about. So I have become more knowledgeable now. So, to the parents, if you have any questions, 5 questions, no more. Then you can interact in between during lunch.
Sure. Yeah.
What is the substitute of refined oil?
Throw the refined oil out, because refined oils have only toxins left behind after the refining process. Use organic, cold pressed. You know, in your grandmother's home, I'm sure you heard of kachi dhani ka kadwa.
I just wanted to know, for seizures, what is the diet that one should follow? Because my son had seizures when he was 8 months and now he's out of it. He's about 2.5 years old. So for seizures in particular, because they say they propagate a lot of protein intake to avoid it. So I'm in a constant battle of what, because this is casein again, when you give him milk or you give him any milk-based products. I've stopped milk completely on him, but what is it that I should be giving him in order not to have the seizures bouncing back, as well as maintain his diet with a casein-free and gluten-free diet?
So, have any of you ever come across a protein deficiency being discussed, as long as it's a natural source? Look, any protein supplement, any supplement for that matter, is absorbed. Like you give the child a calcium supplement, only 1/10 of the weight is absorbed by the body, the rest of it is thrown out. It cannot be absorbed by the human body. You give a calcium substitute as natural green leafy vegetable, 100% of that will be absorbed. Right? So all protein comes through every food item you eat, all nuts, all pulses in a vegetarian diet. I never go towards non-veg because some of our kids just find it so heavy to digest that because of that, the vitamins and minerals that are required to be absorbed don't get absorbed. I didn't touch upon constipation in this, but for example, non-veg, straight culprit for constipation. Because what happens is it's so difficult, the fiber is so difficult for their body to digest that it just sits there. It needs so much water and so much fluid to flush it out that it's difficult. So even for us, you have non-veg, they don't have it for 10 days, you'll see a system clearing up, you'll see that stomach going in, you'll stop belching, you'll stop farting. So just stick to natural, healthy, vegetarian food and you'll find not a seizure coming in. But understand that seizures can be triggered through various other environmental factors. And if we can meet outside, I'll tell you a couple of them. Rekhaji for the first time had told me about the eye drops that you put causing seizures in our children. And to date, I haven't found a single ophthalmologist who knows about this. You know, those simple eye drops, what are they called? For eye pupil dilation? Atrophy. Causes seizures in Down syndrome. Ophthalmologists will not tell you. So you just have to keep educating yourself. And once you've done that, your child will be seizure free. And I know of a family, in fact I can connect you to her. Her child was like a cabbage. She said every year she was just peeling off layers because the child used to have 10 seizures in half a day, stuff like that, 20-25 seizures in a day. And now the child is fully functional, vocationally trained, doing independent stuff. So all through nutrition intervention.
Yeah, so he's out of seizures now, but so I give him fish. So is that a good substitute for protein in terms of?
So the problem with fish is the mercury and the other toxins.
Yeah, so I give him only like salmon and the white pork. So just
read a little bit about it. So I have been wanting to put dietary on DNI, but when I reach out to them and push, each of those tablets have gluten, have corn. So simply said corn flour in them. And if your child has a gluten problem, if your child is on strictly a GSA diet, then even the DNI can be producing 80 years of the diet.
So I think this is the last question because we are running out of time. During lunch, you can interact with Dr. Shalini and ask the questions, please.
Pooja.
Okay. I just have one question. So, number of parents in our present community who have put this forward, where they're following an organic diet, seasonal diet, but still their children sometimes have problems with absorption. Where the diet is perfect, there's nothing wrong with it, but absorption is the issue. So, in such cases, doctors always say So how safe is it in terms of how long could you just give the child supplements?
So understand that the moment you start introducing vitamin supplement in a child, the body will stop trying to absorb it from the food you're giving the child. So I understand that things like B12 are not present in vegetarian food and you need to supplement it. Understand that you will have to then supplement it for the rest of their lives.
So once the child is on it, it's for life.
Yeah. So what you do is you put the child on the vitamin supplement, you test the B12 level, and depending on the readings, you will know how to monitor it. Because if the level is fine, you will maintain a lower dose regularly. If the level is too high, you will be asked to go off it and reintroduce it on a weekly basis. So 1 week absence, 1 week presence of B12. The same goes for